Is it only possible to come up with an economic model in which universal income works that's only paid for by government? I don't think so. I think there's other business models that can work in which universal income can work. And it only really has one, and you look at basicincome.org, which I posted in the chat, that people can look at all these examples, like whether it comes from government or not. But I'll argue that there's already attempts right now, I can give you links to, of people attempting to establish basic income without it coming from a government or taxes. And that's the first thing. We ended up doing a lot of research in my organization with people throughout the United States, asking if it was possible to actually have universal income that didn't come out of your taxes. Would you be okay with a world in which you don't have to work for a living? Now that sounds like foreign to people worrying about people like just sleeping on a couch and just being subsidized by everybody else. But if they're not being subsidized by everybody else, but they're actually part of a working economic system that allows them to make whatever decision they want to make with what they want to do with their time, who am I to say that somebody just pattering in their garden for their whole lifetime is wasting their life on what we would call basic income? Like, that's their life, right? I do other things. And like somebody said, and you look at those examples on basicincome.org, you will see that for the most part, lovely news to share with you about human nature, it seems better than we think, is that most people, when they get basic income, they actually do something with it. Like the guy said, they start a business, go to school. I know, was that Dan, you were saying that? Like Jeremy, that was Jeremy. Thank you. It turns out that more often than not, sure, there are some loafers and people who do drugs and sit on the couch, but what's considered one of the earliest demonstrations of the power of universal income is actually not cash, but it's known as the medicine hat. 1977 it starts. The medicine hat, experiment or something like that, where they gave like almost 500 homeless people apartments. And I'm not saying they put them up in apartments, they gave them to them outright. They own it. Here it is. And 83% of those people, within a year and a half had full-time jobs. And then there's all sorts of like social science that's gone into building on that concept and trying to see, like, when you give people buying power, agency, and capability, do they tend to make the most of it, or do they just waste because they didn't have the work ethic? Turns out that most of the time people make really good use of it. And I'll just land my plane on, you can make an economic model to invest into people by giving them buying power, so that when they buy goods and services, the people who buy goods and services are able to get good, hard money out of that buying power. Just like you make good, hard money out of a loan coming out of the Federal Reserve, which is not the kind of debt we all think it is. We don't actually have the money you send into your tax dollars go into a bank account to then pay for other things the government does. When you send your money into the government, they destroy it. What we think money is nothing like what money is. I form it for a living. I am telling you, we could end, and I know no one will agree with me that this is true, but I'm going to prove this. So you heard it here first, that we can end the U.S. debt in 8 years. No shit. I am going to prove that. And I'm saying, like, we do not understand where the money is and what to make use of it and what to do with it. And there are people figuring out how to do that, and I am helping them.
Yeah. When Trump brought on Elon, because Elon's a proponent of UBI, because he knows where technology is going. Also, Barack Obama's in favor of it. Also, it's since it's proven and it's backed by fact, a lot of people on both sides are in favor of it. So it's easy for it to be passed. But when Elon was in the Trump administration and they're going to be gutting shit, I thought that's what they were going to go for. They're going to try to gut everything and implement UBI. And actually, it would actually make Trump the most popular president in the history of the United States. Well, if he did that.
We'll see.
But he fucked it up, right? Elon's no longer there. They didn't gut it enough, and they still